YouTube channel. I'm so thrilled. This is great.
Cool. Nice.
Awesome.
All
Zoom
right.
and at the same time. Okay. Yes. Well, welcome. We're going live to the YouTube channel. I'm so thrilled. Oh, this is great. How do I get this over?
Oh,
Nice.
Awesome. There we go. Muted. Whew. Crisis averted. All right. Okay. Welcome officially, friends, to the meeting of our divine potential and clarity Reiki for the purposes of teaching the manifestation formula. And I would, oh, I'm also going to record this here to the cloud. There we go. All the recordings are on. Perfect. I'm honored by your presence, and I am thrilled to teach this to all of you. And thank you for joining us. And I'll just start off by telling you a little bit about myself, really quick. I am a Reiki master teacher. I have been a Reiki master teacher since 2008, but I've been practicing Reiki since 2001. I have given healings and readings to thousands of individuals over my life, and I love nothing more than to do healings and readings and to most of all help people to get into their most aligned empathic and aligned manifesting conscious co-creating state that they can. And so it really is a thrill to be here with you, and I can't thank you all enough for spending your time here with me and with Steve, and for coming over and being a part of this. This is I'm honored. And so, without further ado, let's get into the manifestation formula. 3 parts, very simple, but also takes a lot of courage to follow through with this. So, just to put that on the outset, but we'll get into that later. So, the first part of the manifestation formula is to have a vision. Oh, and I'm happy to tell you that at the end of this session, we're going to have a guided visualization, which is something that, not to toot my own horn, but I really specialize in. And so, at the end, we're going to be doing that. And so look forward to that. But the first thing that you want to do is visualize. And what that means on a deeper level is to get very clear what you're asking for from the universe. That is the number one thing that you have to do first. So get really clear. And when I say get clear, it doesn't have to be a specific object that you're trying to manifest. The classic example, of course, being manifest the sports car of your dreams, the Ferrari. What you need to look for is called the thing behind the thing. That actually comes from a friend of mine who's a coach. But the thing behind the thing you're trying to manifest. So behind that Ferrari that you would like to manifest, what is the feeling that you would like the Ferrari to give you? And to get a very clear idea of that. It could be, for instance, freedom and autonomy. It could be, for instance, wanting to look really great and show a certain status and be in a certain echelon of people. It could be that you want to be able to have a certain type of classic American Italian experience and drive down the road and be a daredevil and fly as fast as possible. Whatever it is, you want to be really clear what the feeling behind the thing is that you are manifesting. That is step one. So, to give you an example, I might want to manifest a Ferrari, like I said, to give me, for an example, that feeling of freedom and autonomy. I might think, I want to manifest this amazing sports car, and what I want from it is to feel free and to feel like I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want at the time I want to do it. And so, what you focus on is feeling into that. And asking yourself questions like, how does it feel when this is actually happening now in real time? When I am feeling free, when I am feeling enabled to go anywhere and do anything, when I am absolutely able to feel like it's happening now. What is that? And who do I get to be as I step into that? Very interesting questions to get you to be able to visualize this in a meaningful way through feeling. And like I said, that's step one. And I'm so excited to do the visualization at the end, which I call feelulization, because we're feeling while visualizing. I'll get more into that a little later. But let's move on to step two. So step two, and I'm sure that if you are familiar with manifestation technique, you already know this one, which is take inspired action toward your goal. This can be a big action, it can be a little action. Any action has the ability and the potential to bring that manifestation into play. Let's say, for instance, you want to manifest a new job. What could be all the possible ways that you can take an action toward manifesting a new job? Maybe you can tell your friends you're looking for a job, work your contacts, work your network, go on Craigslist or Indeed or wherever you upload your resume, look around for jobs there. Those are all actions that go toward the goal that you're trying to manifest. Now, I want to say that although every action could give you the result that you're looking for, as far as energy and flow, and as far as giving it the most boost, the most nitrous oxide go power that you can, if you can do those type of actions which are really sticky or anxiety producing or make you feel afraid to do them, those are the ones that are going to give you even more rocket fuel, even more power as you get through them to getting to your goal. Although any action can give you the result you want, especially if you're looking for something big, something sustainable, something that you want to be more lasting, it's those actions that have more of that feeling. And here's a secret that I'm going to tell you that not a lot of people know, but when you have, like I have, gone through and said, okay, well, if the sticky feeling, if that icky anxiety feeling is something that has the potential to give my manifestation more rocket fuel, where can I look within me to break that down, to make it, to get through that, to get it out of my start to rejoice when you find it, when you find that, like, oh, there's a thing there where I'm afraid. You can actually get to a point where you look forward to finding something like that because you know that it could bring you into a new state, become a new part of that boost toward your manifesting. So that's just a clue. But like I said, sometimes, it's best to start out with the baby steps. So just like taking any action, because any action is better than none at all. So far we have visualize, get really clear on the feelings that you want to create, what you're manifesting. That's step one. Step number two is to take an action toward what you want. And step number three, and the final step in the manifestation formula, very, very simple, but takes courage, as I said in the beginning. The final step is to create the shift, which will allow the first two steps to really come to fruition. And this takes examining your resistance. This takes looking at, where do I have the expectation that it's not going to happen? Where do I have an idea or a resistance or a feeling of no, 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 no. And what's that all about? What, I'll give you, an example. A product, a different product for someone else, a coaching product. And I felt, I had done the visualization part. I had done the like visualizing like lots of clients coming in and how great it's going to be and how much money I'm going to make and like how I feel when I'm making all this money and we're serving people on a super high level and it's going to be great. Visualize, right? However, and I'd taken the actions, getting on the calls, showing up to the meetings, all the things. However, because I had this rock like a boulder, giant resistance blockade sitting literally, I mean it's like kind of in my body right here in my torso underneath, like sitting there not wanting to be moved. I had zero success, none at all. um And by being able to break that down, by feeling that literally clear out and move within me, only then was I able to create the shift that then started getting me customers. And then right then, I started closing sales. Bing, 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 like hotcakes. Like the slot machine went berserk. It was amazing. And I'm 100% sure that that is a function of the simple principle that as within, so without. As you create a shift in your energy, in your energetic flow, that's how you enable yourself to experience a different reality outside you. So those are the 3 steps to the manifestation formula. I'm going to pause and take questions if anyone has any. I realize that I just hit you with like a ton of information really fast, but I feel good about it. So anyone have any questions? And realize this is broadcast live to the world, joy to the world. You can go ahead and just, yeah, Steve, go ahead.
So that blockade, that heaviness that you felt right here, you're telling us to really examine it, right? But what exactly did it take in you to make that shift, to move that wall in order to see the shift in the exterior?
I love that. I love that question. That's a really great question. So, the first and most important thing that it takes is to, at least, for me, I speak for myself right now, but and this is why, we work with coaches. We work with people who can help us to see where our personal blockades are. Which is a beautiful thing. But for me personally, what it took is, first of all, just blatantly, without judgment, acknowledging that that blockade exists and calling it like it is. Because before you do that, if you're trying to run from looking at it, for instance, if you're trying to somehow deny its existence or deny what it is, you know, it's you're never going to be able to shift it if you can't first acknowledge what it is. So I had to acknowledge what it is. I was like, okay, what is this? This is anger. This is me protecting myself, me not wanting to be, when I saw other reflections of it. So like seeing myself when I was like getting, kind of bitchy with my team leader in the sales practice, and being like asking myself, like knowing that that was connected to me not closing the sales, and then being like, okay, what's the block here? Why am I being like, why do I need to do that? Okay, it's a protective mechanism. It's because I don't want to be shown to be not good enough. I don't want to admit to myself that, you know I need help. This, and just seeing whatever it is, whatever's in the space without judgment. So there's that. And then what I had to do is say, like, okay, well, do I acknowledge that actually I have control over this rather than some outside force outside of me? And this is a very important point. You have to take responsibility and say, yeah, of course things happen and circumstance and life throws whatever it's going to throw your way. And I'm the one who has the responsibility. Break that down, the ability to respond. I'm the one who has the ability to respond to that emotion that is inside my flow. So I'm able alone to move it. So as I then go to interact with it in this extremely compassionate and non-judgmental way, very important. The second you're judging yourself, the second you're like, oh, that's stupid, or ugh, that's disgusting, or ugh, how could you do that, or any kind of self beat up, any kind of self blame, you're in resistance still to that, to breaking it down. So with the compassion, Steve, your face. Sorry, I'm just seeing the reactions in the gallery. I love it. I love it. Because yeah, I mean, this is hard hitting information. I know that. I know that. But as soon as you can come to it with non-judgment and be like, you know what? It is the way it is. I am who I am. I have this, and that's okay. And I radically accept whatever's in the space. And I get to decide, do I want to keep this? Is this working for me? And when you look at that kind of resistance, it becomes very clear very quickly that it's usually not working for you. At least that was the case for me. It was not working for me, not at all. And, you know, then in my case, the inner little girl comes out and I'm like, but I have this toy. This resistance is so great. I'm going to hold on to it, okay? Yeah, I mean, and then you kind of go down the rabbit hole of the questions and allowing that to, through acceptance, through compassion,
And
through
through
love.
literally calling on source energy and your angelic team to help you and guide you in releasing and moving past this emotional block, because sometimes you can face it and say, all right, so this is what it is, this is how I truly feel, I'm not going to judge myself about it, but I don't know how to fucking let go of it, I don't know how to get over it. So I call on source energy to flow to me and through me, because I don't know how to do it. So I'm putting it in your hands to guide me, to show me the way, to what exactly what am I not seeing? You know, show me that. How can I move past this with you so I can see that shit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Whoops, hold on. My computer wants to spotlight me now. It's my turn for the spotlight. Thank you for adding that, Steve. Yeah, that's a huge point that we have divine assistance. We have divine assistance out there, and when you don't know something, it's always best. I mean, if you learn with me, you'll know that that's the most spiritual decision you can make in a day, to actually bring in that divine consciously. So yeah, I'm gonna pause for a moment. Of course, if anyone has any more questions, please, please, please just raise your hand, unmute yourself, ask
I have
questions.
one.
Yes, Daniel, go ahead.
I was gonna ask about if you can talk about kind of like the attachment to the outcome, like if you attach yourself to the outcome of manifesting.
Yes. Yes, that is a great point. I'm glad you raised that. So, um, if you look at the chakra system, we have 7 chakras. I presume that you know about the 7 chakras, the 7 energy centers. And it's no coincidence that the attachment exists right up here. This is the chakra that takes care of the attachment, the one right up at the top. And it's the very last thing that is, at least traditionally, the learning to have total alignment. That's the final piece of the puzzle. And it always comes down to this for me. I'm smiling because I've already said this. I have been on a few live broadcasts today. Today's been a big power day. Had a lot of video shooting, and I was already saying this in the previous broadcast that I was on. I must have repeated myself like 5 times on this point, that we live in what is called the free will zone. The free will zone, which means that we have absolute ability to, for ourselves, determine, what reality we're going to live in. So often it can just come down to knowing that it is going to come to you in one way, and having, the trust and faith that it's going to show up. Let me start over. Here's the thing. Because we live in the free will zone, what ends up happening is that the universe gives you what you ask for. So if you spend a lot of time in that attachment, that's the best way to ensure that you're going to have problems getting what you want. To put it kind of bluntly, it's like, that's the game, right? Because if you spend time in that attachment, if you're like, oh God, I wonder if it's going to come, and oh God, it has to be this way, and what if it's not, and then you're manifesting that. That's the vibe that you're putting into your flow, and the universe hears that and goes, okay, Daniel is doubting that it's going to happen for him. Daniel is saying, let me spend time worrying over it's going to be right or not.
Yeah, like self-sabotage. That you're like,
right.
You bring it into reality, that when you sabotage yourself.
Right. So what you do instead of that is to say, I choose to live in the world where I get the things that I want, even if they look like they're disguised at first. Even if I can't tell that it's what I want, I choose to align myself as a co-creator with a kind of life where I know that my wishes are granted. I just know that.
I choose to believe that it is so.
Exactly. I live in the world where this is happening. This is, the wishes are granted, and these things are. I live in the world where the things that I put into my flow come back to me in one way or the other. And I trust that the universe has a much greater idea of what is going to bring me that feeling than I do. Going back to the Ferrari that we had at the beginning of the call, right? What I actually want from the Ferrari? Freedom and autonomy. I have this idea that the Ferrari's going to provide that, but maybe the universe is sitting out there going, you know what, that Ferrari is a recipe for unnecessary expense and sitting in traffic. It's not actually going to provide you the feelings of freedom and autonomy that you really desire. And here I am saying, like, no, it's got to be a Ferrari. No, it's got to be a Ferrari. So that attachment is literally blocking what I want. And the universe is like, well, we have like 15 other ways to bring you freedom and autonomy. We have someone who's going to come into your life and be your next relationship, who owns a fleet of taxis, who could have someone pick you up and bring you wherever you want all the time. we have a way for you to learn a new technique of meditation and feel so free in your mind and your heart that you can be free wherever you are. But here you are stuck on it's got to be a Ferrari. And I guess we're not going to bring those things to you that would really bring you the freedom and autonomy you truly desire.
Also, if I may add, looking at the attachment and what's the energy behind it? Like, what is the attachment and you having the attachment really saying it? Is it really saying that you don't believe? Is it really saying that?
Well, there are different styles of attachment. There's a whole book on this called Attached, by the way, which I basically recommend to everyone. But it comes down to being, you can be several different styles, and that's one of them. But another kind is just general anxiety, feeling this myth that if you're hyper vigilant or hyper anxious, that you're going to somehow avert disaster. It's a myth, by the way. And that can be like an extreme form of attachment that comes into your world. Yeah, so I am, yeah, any more questions right now? Francisco, I see you unmuted yourself.
Yeah, I was thinking about attachment. For me, it's not so much attached. Well, yeah, not so much attachment to what I want to manifest, but attachment, I guess, on how. And I think, and for me, that's where, yeah, how you work that out. because you could say, like, say, I want all the resources so I can have the financial freedom to whatever I want. So automatically, I attach myself to a big, large sum of money. Right? But the universe might not necessarily deliver that to me in that form. So how do I work on detaching myself on the how it happens and just let the energy flow?
Okay, great question. So the number one answer to that is the same as the directions to get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. Yes, but that's true, actually. It's a practice to refocus and know, because here's the truth of that. The how is not your job. The how is not your job. I'm going to say it one more time for those in the back. The how is not your job. That's the universe's job. Mm-hmm. So when you find yourself questioning and being like, oh, how's this going to happen? That is the energy that Steve was talking about of lack of faith. Of, I have to step in here and control it. I don't actually trust the universe to bring me the things that I desire. I know, it's hard-hitting info. So then you have to look at what's underneath that. What is underneath that? Like, okay, I don't trust that the universe is going to bring me the things I desire. Okay, and you can go, at least for a while, sometimes it really does behoove you to look at the cause of that. Where does that come from? Is that because of my parents? Is that because of some, ex-partner that I had in the past, or some kind of abusive situation I was in? Where does that come from? That lack of faith, that need to try to step in and control. And that is, once you look at that, and again, non-judgment, moving it, creating the shift, going back to that step 3, creating that shift in that resistance, which in your case is that desire to like focus on the how it's going to happen. Doing that is the resistance, because again, it is not your job. It's the universe's job. Your job is to do the 3 steps. Your job is to know what you want. Know what you want. So again, you say you want a large sum of money, but what is it that you want behind that? What are you going to do? Okay, let's say, boom, your wish is granted. You have $5 million. Now what?
I disappear. Nobody hears from me. No, I'm just kidding. No,
okay, and then what?
Yeah, no, it will give me the financial freedom for me to dedicate my life to what I really want to do, which is, be a person of service. But right now it's just, I'm stuck on
Okay,
the how.
well,
Yeah.
so where does that service take you? What are you doing? Are you a philanthropist? And if so, what? Are you going to Africa and building schools? Are you what are you doing? What are you doing to be of service? What does that mean to you?
Um. Well, I have some ideas, but since we're on YouTube, I don't want to put them out there.
Okay, so give
but
me an
but but
example. I mean, a
but
general example.
yeah, it's basically like some sort of center that will help people in any capacity, whether it's like Reiki or healing, intuitive services,
Okay,
or
great. So you want to make a
yoga or
healing center.
guided meditations, etc. Like stuff like that, like a place where it would heal the mind, body, and soul in any capacity that I can offer there, and not only me, but it's more me having that center and then having other people there to help provide those other services, because of course I'm not going to be able to do all of them.
Okay, got
Mhm.
it. Perfect example. So what you really want is not the large sum of money in this case, but you want, and okay, so there are other things, but let's take this as an example. What
Mhm.
you want behind the money, the thing behind the thing, is to create a
Help
space where
people.
people can be healed.
Hmm.
So, perfect. So, what you do is you ask yourself, okay, so what does it feel like when I have this place? And you can do whatever you can to put yourself there now, to put yourself in feeling that it is happening now, and to visualize that that is happening. And we're going to do, like I said, a little visualization in a minute, um, in order so that we can practice feeling into this and feeling that it's happening now.
Hmm.
And then you go take actions toward that. I don't know what those are, but they could be actions that have no obvious way to get you to your goal, but
Yeah.
put you even more into the feeling of it. For instance, going online and looking at different healing centers that might be for sale in the world and just looking and say, oh, look, there's one in Costa Rica right by the water. And oh, look, there's one over there in in Bali. It's going they're going bankrupt and they need to sell the property fast. Wow, look at that. And getting yourself, doing that, that
Hmm.
is an action. That is an action toward it. And that's, and then resolving the resistance, which, because in your case, the more you go back to that, well, how it's going to happen, how it's going to
Yeah.
happen, how it's going to happen. I mean, what is the energy of that actually?
Hmm. No,
Do you,
not counterproductive. I know that for sure. Yeah.
right? It's like a grinding down. It's like a,
Mm-hmm. Mortar and
Not
pestle.
trusting either.
and it's also not trusting. So there you go. So then and it's not to say like your action is you have to go quit your job and go
Yeah.
spend all your money on lotto tickets or something crazy like that. Like, no, like it's little actions. It's releasing that how if you can and saying like, I know this doesn't serve me. I live in the free will zone. I'm here responsible for my own emotions. I'm here responsible for my own thought patterns. I'm going to release that need to how. I'm going to
Yeah.
release it. I'm going to
Yeah, and I like the example you said of just checking out like properties, because that's why I like that term you said, like take inspired action, because that for me seems or works better for me than take action. Then I'm here thinking I have to like do literally everything you need to do to achieve that. But if you take inspired action, that puts you in more in that energy. So I definitely wrote that down because I like that a lot. That gave me
That's
like a
great.
new perspective on how to tackle that.
Yeah, and there are tons of things you can do. You can look up successful owners of retreats and look up, for
Mhm.
instance, like Deepak Chopra. He has his
Yeah.
own center over there in Southern California, and he's got the whole thing with the fountains. I've been there to this giant hotel retreat place with the massage and the this and that, and he's got everything. And and then look at that and you know,
Mm-hmm.
get yourself inspired, follow him and see, I don't know, maybe he has an Insta page for that place, and you can look at what they're putting on, and then when you see that, go out of your way to then visualize and be like, what's mine going to be like? What if I had an Insta post for my awesome place where people are coming and being healed? Like, what is that like? And I'm just going to pause here a second because I don't know if y'all know this, but I'm also happen to be a little bit on the psychic side. So is it okay if I give you some information that I'm picking up beyond what you're actually saying, Francisco?
Sure.
Great. Okay, cool. I always ask permission, before I read someone and before I look under their energetic skirt. No kidding. Um, so what I'm feeling is as soon as I'm saying that, I'm immediately feeling like you're already actually jealous of him. You're like, well, screw Deepak because like I want that. I should have that by now. Like, is there any of that in the space for you?
No, I was actually thinking of, I actually met him last year. He came to my job and did like a little thing. So I was thinking about that.
Oh, really? Interesting. Cool. Well, I just felt that. So if in case, and maybe that's coming from someone else, I don't know. But if that happens to come up for you, if you feel, um, jealousy or resentment in that way toward a person, that's because you feel that you should have it by now and that you feel like you're owed that or that you wish you had that.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to put that out there just in case, because that of course is also counterproductive to staying in the vibe,
Mm-hmm.
which is somewhere between steps 1 and step 3. Staying in that vibration of it's happening now and the resistance to it is being broken down.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
All right, good. Thank you.
you're
Should we
welcome.
try that exercise now, Rach?
Yeah, absolutely. Um, I mean, I have all the time in the world, so we'll do it. I want to make sure we get any questions though. Anyone else? No? Nothing? Nothing, whatever. Okay, great. Before we start our visualization, I will say I am starting a school. I have a school, my own school, opening up, and it is a 12-month program where I will be teaching all that I know about not only manifestation, but the other side of that, which is empathic intuition, developing your own empathic intuition and bringing out your natural gifts in the ways of feeling what is in the flow, because it's one thing to be able to manifest, but it's also really great to be able to feel what's coming to you and to be able to um, do different things. In some people's case, in my case, I specialize also in feeling what might be existing inside someone and feeling and doing targeted healings for people in their chakras. That's one of the ways that my empathic intuition has developed. So for the first time, I am making all of my knowledge that I have known in a year-long high touch program with live Q&As with me and support, as well as all of the knowledge that I have about empathic intuition, manifesting, and all the things that make magical mystical life great. So I'm gonna write down my scheduling link right now. There we go. And if anyone is interested, I would love to tell you about it. And all you have to do is book a call with me via that link, and you will be able to find out all about the Empaths Manifestation Academy, which is my school. And it is designed on some of the incredible schools that I've had the pleasure to attend over my learnings as an empath and healer. And I couldn't be more thrilled to bring all of this information to the world. So that invitation is open to you. I'll put it in the comments on YouTube as well for you after we finish this exercise. Yeah, and I just invite you to be comfortable, take your seat. I'm going to close my eyes and really relax and whew, uh, let out all the tension while we do this. And of course, I want to remind you that the most important thing as we do this is to feel. Feel into the words. I'm going to give you some guided visualizations. I might bring certain pictures in, but that's not nearly as important as what you're feeling inside and paying attention to your feeling. Also, the first couple times you do this, sometimes it's hard to sort of stay in the flow, and sometimes you find yourself popping out. That's totally normal. If that happens, just bring your focus back in and continue with a couple deep breaths. So here we go. I close my eyes and I take a deep and full breath from the top of my head down to the tips of my feet. I allow the tension to drain out as I take in another deep breath and release it at my own pace. I continue to breathe deeply and I see a beautiful light coming down from above, coming down from a divine source, and it brings me relaxation and safety as it touches the very top of my head, and I feel the top of my head begin to relax as this beautiful ray of light travels slowly down, down past my forehead and my eyes, my nose, my mouth, my chin, my neck, relaxing. My shoulders relax, the tension just rolling off them. With my next deep breath, my chest opens up and expands, and I experience a relaxation deep in my belly as this light continues to travel down my body into my hips. My hips are released from any tension that may be there. My legs going down into my knees, relaxing my lower legs, my feet. Every part of me has the tension fully released, draining into the earth, being fully released from me. And now I begin to feel a rocking sensation. A rocking sensation that begins to come and it picks me up and begins to carry me in the flow. And as I observe this beautiful energy that has picked me up, as we move together through time and space, I see that it is a light, a beautiful, gorgeous light with many beautiful colors coursing through it. And I see that this is my energy flow carrying me through time and space as I walk along, as I am carried so safely and securely into my flow, deep in where I create the beautiful things, the things that I want to experience, the experience that I have, that I am bringing in to my life, that I am allowing to become manifest within my flow. And as I realize that this is my intention, I see a curtain before me, a curtain of shimmering light. And it is there, right in front of me. And as I approach it, it parts and draws back so that I may enter. And I enter onto a beautiful stage in an empty theater, like a planetarium. From this wall of white canvas, I see that I can now create the thing that I desire to see. And so now I begin to see it from this beautiful white backdrop, this blank canvas. Slowly colors begin to come in, and I see my vision begin to take shape. And now I feel something, some welling up in me of the emotion that I feel at seeing my dream come into view here in my flow so clearly. I feel how it feels being there, being in this place where my vision is real. And I make a note of how I feel seeing that this is all happening. It's happening now. Into view, I see my friends coming up to me and they say, "Wow, look at you. Look at all you've created. Look at this amazing result you've achieved. This is so incredible. How incredible that you've created this thing that you've always wanted. How amazing for you." And they give me a hug and they clap me on the back and they say, "Well done, well done." And I say, "Won't you enjoy this with me? Now that this is created, now let's celebrate this together." And I ask myself, how do I feel knowing that this reality is mine now? How do I feel experiencing it in this moment, receiving it, allowing it to be felt by me now? And then I ask an even more important question. Who do I get to become to step into this reality? And as I think this, the wall before me, which was a screen, vanishes and dissipates, pixelating out like a matrix, and I am in my dream. I am in that reality now. It is happening for me in this moment. I see it, I feel it, I know it. I am that person who is experiencing it now. And I take a deep breath and allow myself to feel deep gratitude, knowing that this is the new reality that I have placed into my flow, that I allow to be received, that is now in my vibration directly. I feel a gratitude, a deep sense of thankfulness, a deep sense of knowing that this is on its way to me now. This is happening for me now. I feel so happy, so thankful, so grateful. And I am so absolutely entranced with this new vibration and this shift that I am experiencing. And knowing that this is now my reality and feeling the gratitude of having it made manifest in my life and experiencing it, I feel myself traveling once again forward through time and space, traveling even deeper into the flow, even deeper, where I see behind the scenes my angelic team, the divine guidance which sees me and knows me. They say to me, "Well done. We now feel what you would like to feel, and we can now bring this to you." And I begin to see them, even in this moment, getting to work, bringing me opportunities, chances, special circumstances, things that I couldn't have possibly even imagined, that they are bringing to me now in my flow, that they have the blueprint, now that they have the instruction of the feelings that we have created together. Now they go to bring me the way that it shall be made. And even though I know I can't see it now, I know it is on its way to me now. And now, feeling one's last surge of gratitude, my angels wave so long as they depart for their sacred mission to bring me all the opportunities, chances, and special circumstances that I have coming to me in my flow to make this dream a reality. And as they depart, once again the gratitude wells up in me, knowing that this reality is on its way. And now, with a deep breath, I begin to return to myself. And I give a little stretch deep into my extremities, a little roll of the neck, perhaps. And with my next breath, I begin to wiggle my fingers and toes and slowly come back. And when you are ready, I invite you to open your eyes and rejoin us and rejoin this moment here. Welcome back.
Thank you. That was
Any reactions? Any input, reactions, questions, comments?
You have a great voice for guided meditation. It was great. It was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I could really visualize.
I know we all have very
You're talking-
flowy energy right now. Go ahead.
That's
Jay
JR.
Mendoza, I see you have unmuted yourself. Would you like to
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you. That was great.
comment?
Oh, I was just saying that I could
Oh, we
really
can't hear
visualize.
you. I don't. Oh, wait. No, I can hear you. I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. I had muted myself. I forgot. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just saying that I could really visualize when you were speaking, and that helped a lot.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm so glad. And this will be on my YouTube channel. I'm going to send an email out to everyone with a link to the YouTube channel so that you can check it out if you want to go back and revisit this recording. So thank you. I'm really glad that made a difference for you. Anyone else have anything that came up specifically for them? I'd love to hear. Francisco?
Yeah, like visualization, like the way you walked us through everything, it was like a slow progression, and I'm all about that. That made it feel better and definitely more in the flow. Like I'm still like a little head high from it, which is great.
Metaphysical work, better than drugs.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Steve, you had unmuted yourself before. Did you have anything to add?
No, I mean that was excellent. There were moments where I definitely felt waves of gratitude. Like I got emotional at some moments, and then waves of even there. I even felt that little bit of a block, you know, that little bit of a block. I was like, oh shit, there's still like a tiny bit there. I can address that. I can look at that with compassionate, loving eyes and see what it really needs. What limiting, disempowering belief is it really saying that I can heal and transform, you know, so I can truly bring in that visualization as my reality. So no, yeah, you telling us the steps and then going through that helped me to understand everything that I was feeling, you know.
I love that. I love that. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah. Um, yes. Okay. Well, that was an hour well spent, I would say. I thank each and every one of you for joining. Once again, my link is in the comments, clarityreiki.setmore.com, if you are interested in possibly learning with me over a longer term program. Of course, this is just the beginning. We covered a lot in this class. We covered a lot of stuff. And I have 12 months of material left to share and to impart to those who would learn. So if you're curious and interested to find out, let's make an appointment. Let's have an appointment and talk about it. I would love to go a little deeper with you, find out what you want to create and how we can make that possible. Oh, comment. Thank you. This was such a great experience. Really helped me tune in and focus my inner thoughts and feelings. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Mateo. I can't wait to talk to you. I cannot wait to talk to you. Perfect. Okay. I will say good evening, good night, gentlemen and ladies, and distinguished guests of all orientations and affiliations and sexes and all the things. Um, it has been a wonderful evening to be with you, and thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I have a private Facebook group, which is where I do a lot of fun coaching and activities and stuff. But if you're on my mailing list, which you are, since you got the invite to this webinar, you'll get hooked up with that sooner than later. So thank you so much. I will send out the recording a little bit later, maybe tomorrow. And thank you again. Thank you, each and every one of you, for joining.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Rachel.
everybody, for showing up. Everybody's awesome. I love you all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sorry I was late.
It's okay. All right, namaste, everybody. Hit me up. Talk to y'all later.
Okay.
Bye.
Namaste. Ciao. Bye.